FTX US files for bankruptcy. Wait, what? Sam Bankman-Fried has resigned as the CEO of FTX. So we previously talked with Scaramucci, and a little aspect of that interview was that FTX bought a part of them, bought an equity stake. But this, I just want to give you this update, and maybe he'll come back on.
Skybridge Capital founder, CNBC contributor, and somebody who had sold part of his business to Sam Bankman-Fried. Anthony, it's great to see you, sir.
Well, I would say it's good to be here, but it's a concerning day, Andrew, and there's a lot of distress in the markets, and a lot of my friends think it's the worst week in cryptocurrency history.
Well, let's talk about that, and let's talk about the ramifications of it. But first, on a very personal basis, you spent some time with Sam recently. What happened?
Well, listen, I spent a lot of time with him, actually. We traveled to the Middle East. This is before these revelations were exposed. We were embarking upon helping him fundraise. He had purchased 30% of my business, and so as good citizens, we were trying to help him around the world. When the crisis hit over the weekend, I made a unilateral decision to fly down to the Bahamas on Tuesday in the spirit of helping. And so you caught what Brian was saying there. The original idea was this is a rescue finance situation, and could we somehow help, which would obviously help the entire industry. And then when I got to the Bahamas, it became clear, at least from some of the people that worked on the legal team and the compliance team, that perhaps there was more going on than it being a rescue situation. So when I left the Bahamas in the afternoon, I was actually distressed. I don't want to call it fraud at this moment because that's actually a legal term. And
sounds like he wants to call it fraud.
And we have to leave it up to the regulators, and we also have to give everybody a presumption of innocence. But I have to tell you, I'm distressed about it. I don't like it for the industry. And I would implore Sam and his family. He has two wonderful parents, Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried. I would implore them to tell the truth to their investors, get to the bottom of it, stop 22.
Dude, how brutally calculated was that? The guy is dropping his parents' names, who I believe were like law professors at Stanford or something like that. Like his parents, or at least one of them, was involved in the world of law. And I think they even taught law at Stanford. So this is blowing up. And this is full on Scaramucci of dropping names. I'm like, I don't want to call it fraud, but hey, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's fucking fraud.
Tweets, but get themselves in front of a regulator and explain exactly what happened. And if there was fraud, let's clean it
so
up
calculated.
To the extent possible.
Is he a New Yorker?
At FTX. For myself,
is he a fellow New Yorker with me? He seems like he is. He has that.
And restoring that. The good news for Skybridge investors, we had no assets on custody there. We thought that was a potential conflict of interest, and so we were saved that way. But the bad news is, and I'll say this very candidly to everybody, I liked and trusted Sam, and that violation of trust didn't go just to me, but 20 plus venture capitalists, people around the world that trusted the brand and trusted the technology.
Duped them.
And if there's something seriously wrong there, which it looks likely that that's the case, Andrew, I would recommend to the family members and Sam himself get to a regulator and disclose everything, and that's your moral imperative. Right. If you're a believer in quote-unquote effective altruism, you've done damage to this industry, you've done damage to the people in this industry, and the account holders that trusted you, so enough is enough. Don't let a charade go on. Speak candidly, directly, and honestly.
Crypto Twitter's blowing up right now.
Clean this up immediately.
FTX US files for bankruptcy. Wait, what? Sam Bankman-Fried has resigned as the CEO of FTX. Here's the official commentary from FTX on the situation. FTX announced today that West Realm Shire Services, Alameda Research, and approximately 130 additional affiliated companies have commenced a voluntary proceedings under Chapter 11 under the U.S. Bankruptcy Code. Okay. has appointed chief. So John Ray III is the CEO of FTX Group. Sam Bankman-Fried has resigned as the CEO and will remain to assist in an orderly transition. Many employees of the FTX Group in various countries are expected to continue with the FTX Group and assist Mr. Ray and independent professionals in its operations during the Chapter 11 proceedings. The immediate relief of Chapter 11 is appropriate to provide the FTX Group the opportunity to assess its situation and develop a process to maximize recoveries for stakeholders. The FTX Group has valuable assets that can only be effectively administered in an organization joint process. I want to ensure every employee, customer, creditor, contract party, stockholder, investor, and governmental authority and other stakeholders that we are going to conduct this effort with diligence, thoroughness, and transparency. Stakeholders should understand that events have been moving fast and the new team is engaged only recently. Stakeholders should review the materials filed on the docket of the proceedings over the coming days for more information. The following subsidiaries are not included in the Chapter 11 proceedings: Ledger X LLC, FTX Digital Markets Ltd, FTX Australia Party, and FTX Express Pay. All right, little bit concerned here because this isn't saying anything about FTX US. I don't know if FTX US falls under FTX Group or not. So, okay, this is FTX US declared bankruptcy. So, okay, that's very, very unfortunate. This will be kind of important. Whether you're watching on Rumble right now or YouTube, how many of you are caught up in FTX US right now?